What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another one. If you're new to the channel, I am Gold Pony. I do new car, truck, SUV reviews on YouTube, and today we are in the refreshed 2026 Kia Sportage, courtesy of Fred Bean's Kia in Mechanicsburg, PA. For more information on their inventory, please feel free to check out the link in the description box below. So we're in this one today because yes, it is refreshed. You have a new look, you have a revised dash, new steering wheel, I can definitely tell you that for sure, new tech, and plenty more. And I'm gonna make a bold statement here to start the video. These are the most comfortable seats in existence out of the 1,000 plus vehicles that I've driven. This takes the cake. Previously, I said it was Lexus F Sport. I do believe these seats may have passed that because these things are ridiculously comfortable. But anyways, you also get America's Best warranty, being 5 years, 60,000 mile bumper to bumper, 10 years, 100,000 miles on the powertrain. And in case you were curious, the Sportage does compete with other vehicles like the Honda CR-V, Toyota RAV4, just to name a couple of them. But ultimately in this video, we will be testing out and going over everything about this one, from acceleration to braking, steering feel, ride quality, sound system, exhaust clip, all that fun stuff. So having said all of that, what do you guys say? Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. And as always, let's start with pricing. And so as expected, there are several different trim levels for the 2026 Sportage. First one being the LX, starting at $28,690. You got the EX going for $30,490. X-Line all-wheel drive for $32,990. You got the SX for $34,290, and no all-wheel drive is available for that one, by the way. SX Prestige for $36,290, and then lastly the X Pro Prestige all-wheel drive for $39,590. And so all of this prices, front-wheel drive does come standard, but all-wheel drive is available except for that SX trim level. But if you wanted all-wheel drive, simply add $1,800 then to any of those prices. But regardless of the trim level that you go with, the power plant on the Sportage is going to be the same. Powering this beast is a 2.5 liter naturally aspirated inline 4-cylinder, and yes, that did stay the same from last year, putting out 187 horsepower at 6,100 RPM, 178 pound-feet of torque, coming in at 4,000 RPM. That power being sent to the front wheels or all wheels through an 8-speed automatic. 0 to 60 time is going to come in at approximately 9.1 seconds, with MPG numbers coming in at 25 in the city, 33 in the highway for the front wheel drive, 24 city, 30 then on the highway for the all-wheel drive, taking regular unleaded fuel. But still, before we do any kind of fun acceleration test here in the Sportage, I did want to mention to you guys the drive modes. And so drive modes are actually now located on the steering wheel, so that is definitely changed for 2026 as well. But drive modes will include, we got normal, sport, and my drive, adjusting things like the throttle response, the shift points, and the steering sensitivity. So, and the gauge cluster colors as well, actually. So now that we got all of that out of the way, what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and find it straight away. Let's put the acceleration here to the test, and let's see how quickly we can get our new 2026 Kia Sportage here up to speed. All right, found our straightaway here in 3, 2, 1, go! Oh my gosh, we're spinning! Oh, dude, that was fun. Can't believe we spun like that. This has got to be a front-wheel drive version. I didn't even check yet, honestly. I'll let you guys know later in the video, but that was a lot of spinning. And it is wet out here, but typically if it's an all-wheel drive version of the Sportage, you're not going to get that. So I'm going to go ahead and assume it's front-wheel drive. I'll let you know in a little bit. If it's not, probably not a good thing. But anyways, plenty of acceleration, actually. That 0 to 60 and 9.1, that's a deceiving number because that still felt plenty fine. So you're not going to have any issues merging onto the highway. So I actually didn't mind that. But to go along with that acceleration, as always, braking is equally important. And so up front, you will find 12.6-inch ventilated front discs. In the back, 11.8-inch solid rear discs. As far as that 60-0 stopping distance goes, that is going to come in at 128 feet, which is kind of an average number. So there's nothing wrong with that. Bad numbers are typically in the 130s. Sport sedan numbers are in the 1-teens. So 128 feet, right where it should be, basically. As far as braking feel goes, it's good, actually. It's a little bit on the firmer side of things, but it's pretty much as I would expect the thing to brake like, so I don't have any issues with that either. It's not a soft braking feel, so I actually don't mind it. I think it feels pretty good. But then touching on suspension and handling, up front, you're going to get a McPherson strut front suspension. In the back, independent multi-link rear suspension, of course, gas pressurized shock absorbers. As far as ride quality goes, hasn't been too bad in my short little test drive here today, so I definitely don't have any issues with that. As far as steering feel goes, it does adjust pretty substantially depending upon the drive mode that you put it in. If you put it in that sport driving mode, it's going to be a much heavier weight to it, so I personally like that kind of feel. But if you didn't want the instant acceleration of sport driving mode, there is that My Drive where you can actually set it to that heavy steering feel without the instant acceleration. So that's probably what I would do personally. That's what I did in my old Hyundai Sonata as well. But anyways, I also like the shape of the new steering wheel. I'm just going to touch on it now real quick. It's kind of this, I don't know what you would call it, a hexagonal shape. So that is pretty cool. So I don't mind that. That is new for 2026 as well. As far as cabin noise goes, we're going 30 miles per hour right now. There's a little bit of road noise, but honestly, it's nothing that would personally bother me. So that's perfectly fine. I would also mention that there is an acoustic laminated front windshield that does come standard on the 26 Sportage. So that's going to definitely assist with a little more serene cabin as well there. So I liked that. Touching our rear visibility, I can see 100% perfectly fine out of my rear view mirror there, so I like that as well. And if you were to go with the EX trim level and up, touching on forward visibility a little bit, you will also get rain sensing windshield wipers. So it just basically means the windshield wipers are going to turn on automatically for you, kind of like automatic headlights. It's just one less thing you got to worry about there. But the seats are ridiculous, and that pretty much rounds out the performance segment of this review, you guys. Let's now go ahead and take a look at the exterior of our brand new refreshed 2026 Kia Sportage. All right, so here she is, you guys, the new 2026 Kia Sportage, finished in wolf gray, in case you were curious of our exact exterior color name. But fun fact for you, this is the front wheel drive version of the Sportage, so that is why we had that spinning during the acceleration test. Another fun fact for you, that 100% will not happen with all-wheel drive. So anyways, let's go ahead and start with where this one is made. Taking a look at the VIN, first character is the number 5, indicating that the Sportage is built and assembled here in the US, specifically Georgia. And they actually invited me to tour their facility one time, but I couldn't go, unfortunately. But starting up front, you do have that refreshed look for 2026. You got reshaped headlights. That's probably the most refreshed look that I can see on the outside. That's definitely different. And it's kind of reshaped to kind of match the rest of their lineup a little bit better, honestly. And I think they look pretty darn good. Less polarizing, probably will appeal to more people out there. So I do like that. LED headlights do come standard with LED daytime running lights. You get the automatic feature. You also get automatic high beams. So if you have your high beams on at night and it senses the vehicle coming in the opposite direction, it's going to automatically dim them back to low beams. And when that vehicle is gone, it's going to automatically bounce it back up to high beams for you there. Got to appreciate that. As far as the front grille goes, that is going to differ pretty substantially depending upon the trim level that you go with. So you're going to get black with silver accents for the LX, gloss black with satin chrome accents for the EX and SX trim levels, and then all gloss black for the X line and X Pro trims. And then you will also get LED fog lights for the Prestige trim levels in case you wanted those. But that pretty much rounds out the front end. Let me know what you guys think of the refreshed look in the comments below, but let's now go ahead and make our way to the side. All right, so now since we are around to the side of this one, go ahead and like the video and subscribe. It would actually make my day, believe it or not. Roof rails are going to come standard on the X-line trim level and up. Rear privacy glass is going to come standard for all trim levels. Taking a look at the side mirrors, they are power adjustable body colored side mirrors. They're going to be gloss black though, if you were to go with the X-line or X Pro, and then you're going to get heated side mirrors with integrated turret signals for the EX trim level and up. Then making our way down to the wheel setup. Now Kia always crushes it with their wheel designs. Let me just start by saying that. I love these wheels. They're so different. That's why I like them. They look like nothing else on the road. So 17-inch alloys for the LX, 18-inch alloys for the EX and SX, 19-inch alloys for the X-Line and SX Prestige trims, and then 17-inch matte black alloys for the X Pro Prestige. But that pretty much rounds out the side profile. Let's now go ahead and swing around to the back. All right, so now since we are around to the back of this one, all the way to the top, you're going to find a body-colored shark fin antenna. Just below that, rear spoiler with an integrated brake light. And where's the rear window wiper, you might ask? That's how you talk, right? Just underneath of it. I don't know if that's going to be able to show it to you guys, but it is tucked up underneath of that, so it's not going to impede rear visibility. That's probably why they do that, but it's there. LED taillights do come standard, and then just below it all, you will find a single exhaust outlet. It is, of course, tucked away, so having said that, I do believe you guys know what we have to do next here. As always, here is that exhaust clip. Alright, so now since we are around to the back of the Sportage here, when it comes to opening that rear lift gate, it is going to be a smart power lift gate for the EX, SX, and Prestige trim levels. There's also a button on the key fob, there's a button on the lift gate itself, and a button by the driver's side lift knee. But once opened up, cargo capacity comes in at 39.6 cubic feet. If that was not enough space, there's a 60-40 split, and there's actually levers found in the cargo area to fold down those rear seats, so that was convenient. That's going to bump that up to 74.1 cubic feet. Got some cargo lighting back there. There's tie-down anchors. There's what you could use as grocery bag hooks. I'm gonna call them that, but I think it's for a cargo net. But then if you were to lift up underneath of that cargo floor, you will find a spare tire, which I always love to see. But then make our way up to the rear legroom. That is going to come in at a very impressive 41.3 inches. That's a ton. For reference, I'm even 6 feet tall. This is how much space I had in the back seats there. There is a rear center armrest with cup holders back there. You got rear ventilation. That does come standard for all trim levels, so you got to appreciate that. Dual rear USB charging ports as well, and check out the shape of the door handles. I don't know, it's just kind of cool. But then making our way up to the front seats, cloth seating for the LX, Syntex upholstery for all other trims essentially, 10-way power driver's seat with power lumbar for the EX trim level and up. Power lumbar was plenty adjustable, by the way. Power adjustable passenger seat for the Prestige trim levels. Gonna get heated front seats for the EX trim level and up. And by the way, we do have the EX trim level in case I didn't say that yet. Ventilated front seats for the Prestige trim levels, and then memory settings for the SX trim level and up. Overall, as far as seat comfort goes, the most comfortable seats that I've experienced in every single test drive that I've ever done throughout my last 11 years. So that answers that question. But then let's go ahead and take a look at the steering wheel. It is tilt and telescoping. It is leather wrapped. It is heated for the Prestige trim levels, and I love the new shape of it. It's pretty stinking cool. But then make your way to the startup. Let me start by showing you guys the key. You got your Kia logo found kind of on the one side here, but all of your buttons are on the side of the key still. You got lock, unlock, the button to pop the rear lift gate. On the other side, you got your remote start, which does come standard on all trim levels, so that's so you can warm this thing up on super cold days in Pennsylvania, unlike today. It's pretty nice out today, but it is all keyless entry with the push button start. So all I'm going to do here is simply put my foot on the brake and press that engine start button located just in front of the shifter there. And so once started up, you're going to find analog gauges for the LX, the EX, and the X line, and then a 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster for the XX trim level and up. And it looks pretty stinking cool, actually. When you change to drive mode, it does adjust the color a little bit. So you got red hues, obviously, for sport driving mode, and all the other ones are going to look kind of yellowish, or gold, I should say. And yeah, they look pretty good. And you can adjust what is on there as well. So it tells you how many miles you have left until you hit empty. It gives you some safety information, tire pressure of each individual tire. So I like the way it's set up. It looks pretty darn good there. But now let's go ahead and make our way to overall interior quality. If you wanted a panoramic sunroof, go with the SX trim level and up. LED interior lighting, SX trim level and up again. Auto dimming rear view mirror with home link. That's a standalone option for $350 if you wanted that. Dual zone climate control for the EX trim level and up. Stainless steel pedals for the X Pro Prestige. Wireless phone charger for the EX trim level and up. And by the way, that's located just in front of the shifter here. You also have a couple USB charging ports up there and surrounding the shifter. It actually did that pretty nicely. It's not a gloss black finish, but it's not a cheap matte black finish either. It's kind of like this silverish vertical line design, so they did something with it. So in my opinion, that's a good thing, and that looks pretty good. Just beside that, or behind that, you have your dual cup holders, and then within the center armrest, there's an okay amount of storage in there. You actually have a 12-volt power outlet in there as well. Also like these kind of like little raised edges found next to the power window buttons. That's kind of a cool little design feature there. Maybe they did that for a reason, but maybe it's to grab easier. I don't know. It looks good though. Overall interior quality is fine for me. I didn't have any issues there, but let's go ahead and check out the infotainment screen here. 12.3-inch touchscreen display. Every single trim level is going to get this, so you got to appreciate that. Bluetooth and audio streaming. You also get wireless Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. Factory navigation system, if you wanted that, go with the SX trim level and up. And of course, you have your radio information, as to be expected. So when it comes to the sound systems, there are 2 of them. You're gonna find 6 speakers for the LX, EX, and X line trims, and then an 8-speaker Harman Kardon sound system with 400 watts for the SX trim level and up. So having said that, we got the 6-speaker sound system with us here today. So let's go ahead and turn on the radio. Let's see what we got playing today, and let's test out the clarity of this one. One, wonderful song. 2, pretty darn good clarity. Not a ton of bass though. It's the 6-speaker sound system, so it's not the best six-speaker sound system I've ever heard, but it's pretty good. Like, the clarity is 100% on point. I just wish it would have had a little more bass, and maybe I should have adjusted that in the settings or something. Probably can, but I didn't because I'm just trying to film this thing. But anyways, it's not bad. Last thing I wanted to mention to you guys on the infotainment screen is when you do put the Sportage in reverse, you will find a rear view camera, pretty darn high definition as well. And then a surround view monitor is going to come with the Prestige trim levels if you wanted that. But that, as always, is going to lead us into safety. So let me start by saying the Sportage is an IIHS top safety pick, so wonderful start right there. Got front side curtain airbags, rear side impact airbags, which by the way is like a $300 or $600 option on BMW or Mercedes, but the Sportage gives it to you for free, so I like that. Also in the back, you got latch, aka lower anchors and tethers for children for the rear car seats, rear child door locks, tire pressure monitoring system, but also coming standard, a ton. Forward collision avoidance assist, rear parking sensors, front parking sensors, coming standard. You never see this. That's awesome. Lane departure warning, lane keep assist, lane following assist, adaptive cruise control with stop and go, which by the way is a brilliant system on any Kia or Hyundai for that matter. Driver attention warning system. And then if you were to go with the SX trim level and up, you're going to get highway driving assist. And then if you were to go with the Prestige trim levels, you're also going to get a blind spot view monitor and side parking sensors. That's ridiculous. You never see that. But anyways, when it comes to my final thoughts, these are the most comfortable seats in existence. I'm gonna make it official. It beats the F Sport at this point because it just does. These things are ridiculous. If you have a bad back, and even if you don't have a bad back, these are the best seats out there. So you also get America's Best warranty. That's a ton of peace of mind right there. Excellent safety with the IIHS top safety picks. That's peace of mind if you got kids in the back. I like the refresh. I think it's going to be a lot more in line with the rest of the lineup and a lot easier to sell in terms of the design. So I'm a big fan of that as well. Really, the only constructive criticism I can think of is maybe the driving dynamics, because I mean, it gets the job done, don't get me wrong, and if you're just looking for an SUV to get the job done, then this is going to be it. But if you're looking for something with a little more playful handling or steering feel, go with Mazda. If you want a little better acceleration, typically you go with Honda. But that's honestly not what this vehicle is made for. It's not meant to be like a sports SUV. It's meant to be a very logical and practical option with extremely comfortable seats. So that's what it gets done. Let me know what you think of the redesign in the comment section below. That's about it for this one, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to follow me on social media stuff if you wanted to see what's coming next on the channel. Before it gets to YouTube, be sure to hit the subscribe and the bell notification button if you're into new car reviews. That is what I've been doing here for 11 years now. Do appreciate you guys watching more than you know, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Stay gold.